Welcome back to the Hot Dog Squad. Here, Jaden, Jeremy, Anthony. Hello, boys. How you doing?
Good.
Nice. Okay.
Fuck you, Jeremy. You don't get a camera.
He gets it. He's. I think this is the closest he's ever sat to us.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
normally.
closest
Have you ever been on camera for any podcast? Like, they don't even know what you look like.
No. Good.
I prefer to keep it that way.
Well, you're going to be eating the Carolina Reapers on Unhinged.
Well,
Oh, well. Okay. So we had a good topic that we decided we were going to talk about. The current generation of teenagers. I would say that's where it gets really bad. Like from 24 to like 30, like it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
You know, but there's still a semblance of discipline in that generation.
But even kids that are younger than that, like they have no respect for anything.
Yeah.
No respect for adults or mostly even their parents too.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just let them do whatever they want.
There's a kid that used to work where I work. There's a couple people that are younger, but this one kid, he constantly, I mean, he would miss 3 days a week. He was late the days that he did show up, and he just didn't care. And I think that's probably because his parents never disciplined him.
Well, then his parents should have went to fucking jail for truancy.
If you don't, they don't give a shit because they were never taught things
They were
are
never
right
taught.
or wrong.
Yeah,
They just had everything handed to them.
exactly.
Yeah,
I had to work for everything I have. Like I was never given anything. Like at school, like in high school, whenever you see these kids come in these fucking brand new cars, lifted up trucks, it's like, yeah, it must be nice to have parents that just fucking spoil you and buy you whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I didn't even have a cell phone until I could pay for it on my own.
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, my dad was like, I'm not fucking paying for it.
I didn't get my license until 20 because I couldn't afford a car or
I used to
anything.
steal Jaden's phone to take to school.
Yeah.
There you go. Truth comes out.
Yeah, my first car I bought.
I knew.
The truth is news. We all knew.
He used to steal your Adderall.
That-
It's fine.
I'd look at my search history and it's just fucking
Porn.
hentai porn.
That was my preferred porn back. Now it's
Fucking
disgusting.
weirdo.
Now,
I was 14.
I'm watching Ash catch him. Fuck Misty. Fucking weirdo.
He laughed because that was a real thing he looked up at one point.
Fucking Pikachu.
I was curious.
But yeah, like my first car was that I had a cargo van that I bought for $500 from Goodwill.
Yep, I
because
remember
that's
that
all
van.
I could afford.
Yep.
Because my dad wasn't going to buy it for me.
I didn't start driving until I think I was 18,
21 for me.
maybe
2 years
21.
ago.
I was
Yeah,
like 19 or
I was
20.
like 18 or 19, yeah.
I was 16, but it was because when I was 14, the first day of summer, my dad woke me up and he's like, hey, I got you a job. Come on. I was like, all right, I fucking guess so. Yeah, I've had a job for a long time because he made me get a job because he's like, if you want anything, you're going to have to fucking buy it yourself.
Like my brother, he's been in and out of jail his whole life. Like he got out, I don't know what time it was. And somebody in my family said, are you going to try and get a job? He's like, nah, I'm not the working type. It's like, that's not how fucking life works.
No, not the working type.
Yeah.
I mean, I get not wanting to work. I don't think anybody wants to go to work fucking 5 days a week and never be home, but you
Like,
have
is
to.
disability that easy to get?
Yeah.
Because I feel like so many people live off that shit.
I think it's so easy now because you can just blame it on a mental disorder and
Yeah,
get it.
I have anxiety. I can't work.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, shit like that. And
Everyone does.
and-
Everyone has a
have
little bit of
anxiety.
anxiety.
You know how I found out I had anxiety? Whenever did that fucking remodel and
Mhm.
everything, and then like they locked all the inmates up in their housing units and there was no movement, and then all the doors were open for people to come do a tour. Like the rec doors were open, the front door was open for people to just walk in,
Oh,
and it was like I was like shaking. It's like, it's
yeah.
I couldn't even like talk. It was so bad
Yeah.
because
That's crazy. They just fucking open the doors.
yep, for people to come look and see what they did.
Looking at the inmates like they're in a fish
I
bowl.
remember that.
That's
That.
crazy.
It was an open house.
Open
My
house,
girlfriend
yeah.
at the time was like, "You gonna go to that?" I'm like, "Fuck no."
No, that's just
I
I had to
fucking
work. I had to
there.
work during it. I had to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that people have, mental issues and things like that are real, but I think it started with like ADHD and shit. Schools were just like, fucking, your kid has ADHD, drug them up.
Yeah.
So now you can just say you have a mental disorder and blame everything in your life on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a lot to do with the discipline issue. Because, like, I know people that they'll say they have, like, obsessive defiance disorder, which means you don't like listening to people. And so they're like, "Oh, sorry, I have ODD. I didn't do that on purpose." Fuck you.
Get out
You're
of the house. Like, stop being a hermit.
Yeah, you're just being a dick.
Interact with people.
Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it, and then technology has made it.
Yeah, whenever you give phones to kids that are like 7.
Yeah.
Technology, it makes everything so easy. If we wanted, we didn't even have to record this podcast. We could do AI, fucking little voice sample. There we go. Type it
So
up.
here's a thing for dependence on technology. You guys are like best friends.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty
He's
much.
like the only person I talk to.
What's his cell phone number?
I don't know. I haven't saved it in my
Exactly.
phone.
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what
I don't
happens?
even know if I know my own cell phone number.
So what happens whenever if you go to jail
And I need to call
and
somebody.
you need to call somebody?
I know one person's phone number. I don't even know my dad's phone.
I'd be able to call my grandma her house phone.
The house
Yeah,
phone,
that-
because that's the one you grew up with.
Yeah, I remember my house phone when we lived on the other side of Rossiter when I was like 6.
But now it's just so easy with a click of a button, like you're
Yeah.
calling somebody. Like I know both my store numbers.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah, I don't.
I know my cousin's phone number, my uncle, my aunt and uncle. Like I know quite a few, but it's everybody's just so dependent on it.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah, I know. I could probably figure out my dad's if I sat down and thought about it long enough because I know most of it, but there's like a couple numbers I get mixed up.
Yeah.
So I could probably figure it out. I know my girlfriend's, and and I know my sister's because she's had the same cell phone number since like 2005. Those are the only ones I know. I know like the jail. I have the jail's number memorized,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, I don't. And the same thing with like, I mean, it's nice if you need to fix something in your house and you don't know how, you can look it up on YouTube
Yeah.
and do that. That's nice, but at the same time, nobody really knows how to do anything. You're just like,
It's like back before they had like internet and stuff. I had to change drum brakes on a Jeep I used to have. You know, I changed drum brakes, lift up the whole fucking back end, take both sides off, use one as a guide to change the other one.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a picture on my phone. And I couldn't
Right, you
pick
couldn't
it
just
up and
fucking
go
look
back.
at it, figure it out. That's
There's a
we're-
YouTube tutorial for anything now.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
But the problem with that is we're heading towards a recession. Obviously, it's going to be a big one. Nobody's going to be able to afford shit. What if the internet goes out or you don't have electricity anymore?
Fucked.
So many of us are fucked, me included. I rely on my dad being an old guy to teach me how to do a lot of shit still because I just recently grew up about 2 years ago. Yeah, I don't know how to do fucking anything. I'm just now learning how to fucking like work on my house because I've never owned a house. I've always rented and shit. But like I'm just now learning how to fix stuff at 24 years old. That's ridiculous. These are things my dad knew when he was in 8th grade.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, if you need to learn how to do anything, I can help you. I
Yeah.
just hooked up a ceiling fan the other day, and plumbing, roof work, whatever.
I wouldn't recommend you coming to my house. I have 10 cats.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be. You'd probably leave with
fucking
just
die.
lungs swelled up, have an asthma attack. You don't even have asthma.
My eyes are hurting just thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah. We're so fucked. That's it. People complain about America and how it's so bad and everything, but in reality, this is the best the world has ever been in some ways. It's also the worst it's been in a lot of different ways. Because I always say I was born in the wrong generation. I would have loved to have been born in like the 50s. Grew up in the 60s and 70s. That would be ideal for me, I think.
My uncle, he said that if he ever ran for office, this was years ago. He said this, but like he's like if he ever ran for office, he would make everything how it was in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Minimum wage, whatever the fuck it was back then, gas prices,
Yeah, my dad said he used to be able. He had a Plymouth Cuda, Barracuda, and he said he used to be able to take it down to the gas station with a fucking handful of quarters and fill it up. I mean, there's a lot of shit that's better now than it was in the 60s, you know? There is, but I think in general, that was when America was booming. You know, manufacturing was done in America. It was before everything went to China. It was when the money was still backed by gold. It's no longer backed by gold, so our money actually means nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, I'm worried because everybody says America is unable to be invaded, which is a lie. It's very easy. You could do it.
Yeah.
But the day that happens, because it will happen, that's just how the fucking world works. It's gonna be bad. Once a couple internet towers go out, like I said,
Everybody loses their minds.
yeah.
Like,
Fuck, I lose my mind. If I was out without electric for a day and a half or some shit, I was going nuts. I'm like, what the fuck?
it's like fucking cell phone tower goes out. It's like, yes, nobody's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I could just get rid of my phone. They've crafted the world to this point where you can't live without internet. You can't live without electric because you need it for everything.
yeah.
That's why, like I was saying earlier, I want to disappear so I could be left alone and just do everything on my own. That would be nice. Figure out how to get water on your own. Fucking fire for heat, because that's never fucking changed. We still heat our houses with fire. If you know how to make fire, you got warmth. That would be nice.
So this one here. I saw a video of an inmate attacking a CO, but when the CO broke his arm, putting him to the ground, he got fired. Do you think inmates run prisons more than officers do?
I think in a lot of ways they do.
They have more rights.
Yeah, you can't. It's like a discipline thing again. You can't discipline inmates. I get prison was bad in the 80s. Cops, fucking COs were chaining inmates up and kicking them downstairs and shit. My uncle used to tell me how he did that. He'd be like, there was no fucking cameras. I didn't give a fuck. But that's not right. But you can't do anything now. So there's no reform. They just live in prison for a little while and get out. Yeah, I think that was at the academy that I watched that video. There was a guy, I forget what state it was in, but he straight up just started mauling on this CO, and the CO kind of like tried to push him just to get him away, and he wasn't. So eventually he dumped him, and he snapped his arm when he dumped him. The guy got fired, and I think the inmate ended up suing him and winning that lawsuit.
That's crazy.
And they know that that's how it works. They know that they can do that shit and be fine.
I'm sorry, if my life's in danger, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get excessive force, but once your life's in danger, there's no such thing as excessive force anymore.
It's my life or yours.
Yeah, if there's a guy trying to kill me, I'm going to try and kill you first. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And PA is one of the tougher states for inmates, from what I understand. Like PA, Texas, Colorado. But there's a lot of them that prisons are just getting... They're run by gangs and shit. There's a guy I used to work with. He was like a high-ranking member in the Aryan Brotherhood. And he was in Oklahoma for 20-something years or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said it was not hard for him to get drugs in. He's like, it wasn't hard for me to have anybody fucking whacked that I wanted whacked. It's ridiculous.
Well, then you got the officers that, because there was one broke a guy's hand and thought it was fucking hilarious because he just did it to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
they do need to staff jails better, I think. Everybody's understaffed, and when you get understaffed, you start lowering the standards for getting hired.
yeah.
And then you start getting people that they've been picked on their whole fucking life.
Yeah.
So they have anger issues, and then they get an ounce of power, and they run wild with it.
Yep.
That's something I saw a lot. And when you could tell somebody they were just kind of a dweeb kid. And then they got into jail, and if they saw somebody that
That's
they
how
like...
I put it. With it, like they got picked on in school.
Yeah.
I put it a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, and then, or if they like see somebody that they went to school with in that jail, oh my God, they treat them like garbage. Like, the retaliation is bad. I'm not saying all COs are good, but you got to back them a little bit.
Pittsburgh is the saddest city I've ever been to.
Yes.
No
Pittsburgh
wonder,
is gross.
No wonder they love the
You ever been
Steelers
to
so
New
much.
Jersey?
Fuck yourself.
You ever been to New Jersey?
I have
Or
not. I've been to
downtown South
Philly.
Detroit?
No, I've been to Philly, and Philly's pretty
Detroit's
rough.
probably one of the worst towns in America.
I think it's
Or
the
Chicago.
worst.
Chicago's
Yeah,
like
Chicago's
a
bad.
fucking
Bad, too.
battleground.
Chicago, they've got like people in it though. Detroit's been completely abandoned. Like their population, it went from the richest city in the world in 1960 something to the poorest city in America in 40 years. There's nobody there anymore. It's so bad that they're like knocking buildings over to plant grass again.
Speaking of knocking buildings down, I saw that your dad's house is getting demoed here soon.
Yeah, it got torched.
Yeah.
Yeah, the house
they already
next
tore the
to
one
it.
next door down.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was your house. We drove by
was
it.
the other one.
No,
This
it
one
was
is
the-
still standing right now.
Yeah.
It did a lot more damage than what I thought it did to it.
It was the fire really did, it kind of fucked up the one side of it, but the fire didn't take the whole house. It was all the water they pump into it that completely ruined everything inside. Just because when I showed up, when it was still burning, they were like pumping water in through one window and it was just spraying out the other side of another window. And it flooded the basement of the church next to it and shit.
Jeez.
That's what really kills your house in a fire is all the water.
Yeah.
He made out like a fucking bandit though. He bought that house for like $50,000 and they gave him like $400,000 for it.
Really?
The insurance paid him out. Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
it's not also the value of everything inside.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think it was like $300,000 for everything for the structure, and then like $170,000 or not 100. It's like $70,000 for everything that was inside, and then they cut him like a $10,000 check just for the inconvenience of his house being burned down. They were like, "Oh, well, do you want some of this money now?" And he was like, "Sure." And they sent him a check 3 days later for $10,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this quarterback specific helmets to limit head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
What about the rest of the team?
I-
Don't you think they would have done that already?
You would think it's a position specific helmet to limit head injuries to the quarterback. I'm like, okay,
They can't do that though.
what, limit head injuries to the
No,
quarterback?
they can't do that because that'd be a huge lawsuit. That'd be like the NFL cares more about their quarterbacks than they do anybody. any
That's
other
what I was
position.
thinking. I was like, what the fuck
they
about
can't do that.
what
That'd
about a
be
cornerback that just got lit
Or
up
a,
by
or a
somebody?
running back.
Yeah, that gets his
Like-
fucking head beat in way more than a quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, they already have so many rules protecting the quarterback. Last thing they need is a fucking helmet.
Yeah.
I get they're normally the face of the franchise and you're trying to keep them safe, but why not fucking keep everybody safe?
Speaking of that, I love it whenever like they show like the football games, like Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football and stuff. They show like the Steelers versus like I don't know, the fucking Saints, I guess. And it shows like Ben Roethlisberger and like some teammates, and then it shows like Kamara.
Oh yeah, a team with a bad quarterback.
Don't show him up front.
Yeah, like the Panthers, it was always Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, fuck Sam Darnold, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's always funny.
it is hilarious. That just lets you know that your quarterback sucks. And if you're that quarterback, that's got to be a slap in the face.
Slap
You're
in the
like,
face.
fuck.
It's like, oh man.
I guess I'm not getting paid this offseason. Sorry. Yeah, the quarterback specific helmet thing, that blew my mind. I guess it's in testing, but there's no way that they can just give them the quarterbacks. I thought it was going to be something like so they could communicate with like the sideline better or something.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was going to be, but then I saw for head injury, I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Linemen get beat up by
Lost.
300-pound dudes all the time. What do they get?
Nothing.
No. It all started with fucking Tom Brady, too.
No.
Had to protect Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, he was old.
Gonna protect the elders. I wonder what Tom Brady's gonna look like when he's in a nursing home at like 75, still whipping footballs 80 yards because he drinks nothing but fucking green juice and
Did you watch
avocados.
that picture or that video of Peyton Manning in like the nursing home?
Yeah.
And like there was one of him having like a Super Bowl party for Super Bowl 51. That one was hilarious.
I love Peyton Manning. He's a funny fucking dude. Have you watched the thing him and Eli do on Monday Night Football?
I've watched one of them.
It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be, but it is cool. I like. It's not as cool as Tony Romo fucking calling out plays before they do them.
Oh, yeah.
That shit blew my mind. I was like, well, so you just didn't have the body to be a
just has
quarterback.
he has a different outlook on it. Like
Yeah.
because he was a quarterback. He saw the defenses and studied them. And that one right there.
The #1 goal here at Sunset Acres Village is to bring a little joy and laughter when you're put out to pasture.
You ever seen this, Edwards?
No.
Well, Mr. Manning, thank you for getting up this morning.
Oh, yeah, this
a
was
lot of
right
our
after
people
you
don't.
retired.
Dinner tonight is at 3:30. I hope that's not too late.
That works.
Okay, excellent. Good to see you again, Steve. Steve lives in there. He's a racist. Just a quick question. Catheter, yes or no?
I'm fine for now.
Really? I'm actually wearing one now.
Put me down as a maybe.
I think we'll turn that into a yes.
I've retired, okay? And therefore I live in a retirement home. Why is that weird? For the win! Woo! Yes, sir! Do you like that, Ruth? Do you like that? You know what it's called? It's called winning. It's called being a champion. Look, I know I'm just a rookie here, but I actually feel I have plenty to teach these veterans. Many of whom are actual World War II veterans.
Hey, gang! Just because you're wet doesn't mean you shouldn't sweat.
All right, you heard Coach. Let's go, team. Here we go. G, what is that? That is not going to work your core. Ethel, don't die on me in here.
Who is Winston Churchill? What is a Jabberwocky? What is a common pelican?
I'm gonna watch Castle.
Castle. All right, freeze it right there. What is this wrist flip thing? Have I taught you that? It's prison rules out there, okay? Take out the biggest guy first. Let them know you mean business. Earn those naps.
Look, our residents are in the fourth quarter with no more timeouts. And so we're going to run out the clock and maybe have some fun along the way.
You all right in there, Gus? You've been in there for 40 minutes. Are you done?
Yep. Not yet.
Gus, you're my best friend, but you do not make it easy.
What do I like about Peyton the most? He paid cash.
It's 2 o'clock somewhere.
Boy, we need that. Here's Peyton and Ruth working so nicely together. Oh, Peyton, you made a chocolate chip pancake.
No. Real pasta, it's a football. It's got my number, see the laces?
Oh, Ruth, that's exquisite. I've never seen anything so beautiful.
Like on any team, you're not gonna get along with all your teammates. And there's something about that Ruth that I just don't like. Probably that she's a front-running old bag. Looks like someone dropped a big purple deuce right in front of her, and she's touching it right now. You're coddling her.
That's a masterpiece, and that's almost a football. It looks like you dropped the deuce on your plate, and it wasn't a very solid one. Oh, well, listen, all of our residents get a little fussy from time to time, but I don't think you can point to anything as being a real, beef.
Damn it. Who took all the good coupons? I gotta pay full retail now, like a 2-bit chump.
Peyton, what's the right word?
Not expecting much out of you, Ruth.
You're my nightmare.
He's a is what he is.
Nope.
Peyton came to us in some distress, and Sunset Acres Village has had such a calming effect on Peyton Manning.
Golden Girls. Who's the hottest one? Blanche, all day for me.
Gin.
Jen, we're playing poker. She gets away with everything. This is horse. I'm out of here. Taking the chips. These are mine, too. I deserve these. Sure, sometimes I miss my football life. Of course I do. But this is a new chapter for me, and I am ready to turn the page.
Hi, Tom Tom.
Hi, Gam Gam. How are
Christ.
you?
Knew it. I knew there was something about you, Ruth.
Hey, what's up, Peyton?
Hey, Tom, what's up?
Grandma, I used to play football with Peyton.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Did you win 5 Super Bowls, too?
Shut up, Ruth. If anybody needs me, I'll be taking another nap. Let's roll, fellas.
That was good.
Tom Brady showed up with
5 Super Bowls, too.
Shut up, Ruth. God, I love Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Do you think Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer?
No.
No.
He'll get in. He won 2 Super Bowls. He'll get in.
Against who?
Those were against Brady. Okay. The Patriots. He'll get in. I think he'll be a Hall of Famer.
That's the worst part about Patriots fans is even when you talk about the ones they lost, like, fuck you, got 5 more.
Ben Roethlisberger was the best out of that class. Just saying.
What?
What?
He's better than Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. The best QB in that class.
I think he won more, but I think Phillip Rivers was a better quarterback.
Phillip Rivers never even fucking sniffed the championship game.
He played for the fucking Chargers. They were a shit franchise. They had LaDainian Tomlinson for, 8 years, and then after that, it was just Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers was the best quarterback, but Ben won the most. Kind of like Tom Brady. Tom Brady won the most, but Aaron Rodgers is better at throwing a football. And he's more accurate. He just didn't have the brain like Tom Brady did. That was Tom Brady's whole thing, is the brain.
Phillip Rivers was
Less
just
money.
an underachiever. The
Oh,
smartest.
yeah. You see the size of his head holding all that brain? I think Tom Brady was the smartest quarterback. Because Peyton, yeah, I mean, he read a field good, blah, 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 read defenses. So could Tom. But, like he said, Tom Brady always took a pay cut to put more people around him. He was thinking.
And he took care of his
big.
body. Like, towards the end,
Yeah.
Peyton can barely throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking.
He got carried to that Super Bowl.
Yeah, that last Super Bowl. It was because he got fucking torched the year before that.
Defense won him that last one.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be the Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes thing. As Joe Burrow says he's willing to take less money, I think he's going to do that. And Patrick Mahomes just got, a 10-year, $500 million deal? Yeah. God, you know what I would do with $500 million?
I don't even know.
I don't either. I only need 30. Keep the other
30
400
million?
Yeah. You telling me you couldn't live
I'll be
off
happy with like $2 million.
Yeah,
Pay off all my debt and just.
You could
fucking
retire
just
off of
relax.
$2 million, especially living in an area like this.
Yeah.
That's why I think, like I said, people that keep trying to get more rich are less happy because they're always worried about getting more money. But the people that just get their money, pay off their debt, and just live and have that money if they need it,
That's what I would do.
a lot better off. Greed is what has ruined America.
You watch the AK guy?
The AK guy?
He's making a 50 PMG. He's a YouTuber, 50 PMG on the AK platform.
That's a terrible idea. You're gonna
That's why
blow
it's
it.
taking him 8
He's
years
gonna
to
blow his shoulder off. I saw a guy.
It's gonna be like this big. It's massive.
Yeah. Have you ever seen those elephant guns? The like double-barreled fucking.
Yeah.
I saw a guy. He
Shoot both of them.
Yeah.
I saw that.
fucking threw him back about 3 feet. Yeah, he told him, fucking. Yeah, you're supposed to pull one trigger at a time, and he pulled them both. It's like there was a kid I knew growing up that thought he was tough, so my dad took him out back, and my dad used to have a 10-gauge shotgun, and he shot it, but he wasn't like leaning into it or anything because he didn't know shit about guns. And he was like leaning back, and he just tumbled 2 or 3 times.
We talked about this. How you think most criminals want to get caught?
I do think most criminals want to get caught. I think pretty much every crime people do to get attention.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I can kind of get is like except drug addicts because they're just fucking like a heroin addict isn't doing heroin for attention. I think they're doing it because it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Because heroin's got to be awesome. For people, have you seen the heroin dens that people live in where it's just fucking shit everywhere, dirty needles?
They're just chilling.
I hear it's the best high you will ever get. The
Yeah.
first time you do heroin.
What's that?
No, thank you.
No, that's why I won't do it because I know I'd love it. But like being okay with living in that just
They
because
don't
you're
care.
high,
Like, yeah,
it has to be. So
It's like
good.
you're not there. Like
Yeah.
they're in their own little world.
it's like being in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Have you ever seen somebody that's high on heroin?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like fucking sunk, schlumped.
So there's a drug I've been interested in for a long time. Would you try DMT?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
I would. I've done like mushrooms and stuff like that, and they say
See, I've never done any psychedelic, but
They
that
say-
legitly takes you to a different dimension for like 20 minutes.
well, I think isn't DMT like a concentrated form of the drug that forms in your body right before you die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
like
you only get that effect when you're first born and when you die.
yeah. I bet that would. They say it literally changes your life.
Like it takes everyone, and like everyone that does it has like a similar experience. It takes them to the same place, and like they talk to the same people. Like it's literally another dimension.
That would be cool to try. There's a lot of drugs I'd want to try, but I know I just can't. Like I've done, like I said, mushrooms. Mushrooms are pretty cool, but
I hear salvia is like intense.
well, yeah. There was a comedian that did it on a podcast, Ari Shafir. He did, and he was just, and he was like sitting there, and then he just literally
he
making
lived
that
a
noise.
whole different life.
Yeah, he was like, I was living underwater with these mermaids, dude. And they were like, you were out for 5 minutes. He's like, what do you mean? I was out for like 6 months, man. His special Jew is the one that taught me that we don't have that men don't have one less rib than women. That's where I fucking learned, because I learned in church all the time that men have one less rib because God took a rib from Adam.
Have you watched the clip of Ari Shafir spiking Bill? Not Bill.
That's fucked up.
Oh, when he spiked his drink. Yeah.
He spiked his drink
Yeah, he
with
put Molly
LSD
in it.
or something.
Molly.
But here's him talking about that.
That's fucked up.
The one when you smoked salvia on a podcast and had a 4-month life.
Sure. They were like, do salvia. So I took a big hit, and they were like, that's not big enough. And I was on the brink of disappearing. And then I took a way bigger hit, and I was just gone. Completely gone. I was living under the sea for, I think, around 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made friends. I had a girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure. I had a life down there. A life in about 8 minutes. And then I started coming back. And then they're all like, hey, so you fine? You ready to talk? And it was like,
Jesus.
no.
Yeah.
It's
It's crazy how some of those drugs will completely change.
Like, he was high for like 8 minutes, but in his mind, it felt like 4 or 5 months.
That's the way DMT is, too. The high only lasts a few minutes.
It's like 20 minutes
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah. Have you ever... This is a trash thing to say, but have you ever, like, robo-tripped? Where you just drink fucking Robitussin until it turns into a psychedelic?
No.
I did that. It's pretty great, except when you drink it, you are going to throw up. But I watched Black Panther, and I was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever fucking seen, dude. Like, it was awesome. Drugs are great, but they're not good for you. They really are great. Have you ever done... You don't seem like the kind of guy that's ever partaken in... Have you ever even smoked weed or anything? Really?
No.
Not even once?
Nope.
The best way I describe it is it literally makes everything better.
Yeah.
That's why people probably do it.
Yeah.
I have nothing
Like,
to
if you're
complain
watching a
about in life.
shitty movie, you can actually sit through it and be like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, and if you're having like a bad day and you get stupendously high and just listen to a really good song, you're like, this is the greatest moment of my fucking life. Have you ever like sat in a pitch black room, not high, just even stone sober, and just listened to like are you into music?
Yes, like I listen to it on like the way to work and stuff.
Yeah. But like, just if you sit in a pitch black room with headphones in, so it's good and loud, and you just listen to your favorite music, it is one of the best experiences I've ever had.
So I have this weird thing. Like, I'll put on these headphones, they're Bluetooth, and I'll
Flex. He's like, no cords on these.
But like, I'll like find scary stories like online, like Corpse Husband. Like, I knew who he was like before he blew up.
Yeah.
But like, they just read like scary true stories, and like some of them have like a great voice, and it's like almost soothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been into like the true crime shit too. That's always fun, sitting in the dark thinking about some dude coming in and popping you in the back of the head.
Like Mr. Nightmare, I've been on a Mr. Nightmare kick, but he just
Never heard of
reads
any
like
of these things.
he just reads like true like horror stories from Reddit.
Yeah. I think, have you ever heard, well, you've heard of like creepypasta, right? That's been around for a hot minute. No?
Nope.
Huh.
Like Slender
What
Man.
do you do?
I've heard of Slender Man.
Slender Man's a creepypasta.
What do I do? I fucking work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you seem like you
Dude,
just lead a simple life.
I have a full-time job that I drive an hour to get to and back, and I own 2 businesses.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do much.
Yeah, you don't have much downtime, do you?
No.
How are you even here?
This is
Well,
one day.
I had to take somebody to work here.
Yeah, what time is it?
It's 12:43.
Okay.
He said he has to be there at 2:30. It takes an hour and a half to get there, so he said he can be late, but I like try to not make him that late.
He can be late. He's like, nah, fuck it. Yeah, but I mean, where you work, I mean, fucking, you guys just make your own schedule and shit anyways. I don't
make
think
my
they'd
own
care that
schedule.
much. You don't anymore? Well,
No.
you guys like
Well,
trade
you do
around
swaps.
and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, like last week I worked, 2 weeks ago. Tuesday I worked 3 to 11. And I went back in Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., worked till 11. And then I went back in Thursday at 3 and worked till 7 a.m. Friday. And the rest of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me when you first started working there, you were like, yeah, everybody just kind of trades around to fucking work what they want to work, basically.
You know, you just do swaps and you do doubles. And...
Yeah, and it's like unlimited. Because I remember at the jail, you got like 1 a quarter.
Yeah.
That you could trade with somebody. It was the dumbest shit in the world.
I think I've traded shifts like once.
Yeah, I've done
it was to help out someone else.
Yeah, I've done it like twice because somebody's like, "Oh,
if I don't want to work, I'm just gonna call off."
We know.
Which you guys have to give reasons for that.
Yeah, you don't. You could just be like,
"Hey, I'm not coming in today. Can you put me in for a sick day?" Yep. Okay.
Fuck you. That's the way my job is now. I just text my supervisor and be like, "Hey, I'm not gonna make it." And he's like, "Cool, whatever, dude." Nobody here shows up.
I have
half
so
the
many
time anyways.
vacation days. Like I took off like the beginning of May. I took off like May 1st to the 12th.
That's cool.
And
just because you can.
Just because I can.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to get burned out. Like I go through phases where I'm like, fuck this place.
Yeah.
So I take like a little staycation. Don't even go anywhere, but it's just to like clear my mind.
I think that's better than going on an actual vacation. Because like an actual vacation, you have to like plan shit and you're going and you're doing stuff. I'd rather just sit at home and just do nothing for a little bit.
Yep.
I think that's way better than going somewhere.
Yep.
Especially if you plan like big vacations, like people that go to Disney World. Fucking your kids don't care that much about Disney World. Yeah. They're not going to remember it unless they're in their preteen years or later.
Yeah.
And you spent thousands of dollars.
Double-digit thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
to go to
it's
Disney
insane.
World.
My brother goes every year. I don't get
Why?
Because he's got money. He's got 5 kids.
That's something I'd go and do once.
That's why he does it.
Yeah. I couldn't
I'd
imagine.
like to take my daughter to Disney once and be like, yeah, this is it.
One time when they're old enough to remember it. Because I hate parents that spend money on their kid, like people that throw gigantic first birthday parties for their kid. And they're like, we did all this for pictures. So they remember it. And I'm like, well, the whole point of pictures is so you look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember this. They're going to be like, oh, cool, you guys did that for me?
Yeah.
Sick. I don't remember any of it. I was pooping my pants. I don't understand that, why people spend so much money on their kids. I won't. I know that for damn sure. They're fucking kids, like a dog, basically.
I think it makes
until they're
them
12.
feel better when they spoil their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you grew up like super fucking poor and you don't want your kids to grow up poor, that's fine, I guess, but that doesn't mean you need to go broke doing
Well,
it.
yeah, and you have these people that have kids and then they pressure them into doing these sports that they did because whenever they were in school and they sucked at them, so they want to live vicariously through their children now.
That was really bad in Punxsy. I know when I was playing sports because some dad that couldn't handle high school football pushed his kid from middle school. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a fucking quarterback," and the kid ended up fucking hating football because of it. If you force your kids to do shit, they're not gonna like it. No. Sports parents are the worst.
Yeah.
If your kid wants to do it, that's one thing. But all right, guys, we're out of time. Old Anthony here has a heart out,
I have
so
responsibilities.
yeah, he's not a dumb 20-something-year-old like us. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in for the Hot Dog Squad.